Trevor Ncube says that there is a deal between Nelson Chamisa and E.D. Mnangagwa to give Mnangagwa a second term. And this is according to Godfrey Tsenengamu in this week's Quality and Explosive Convo with Trevor. So, I have taken time to listen to this snippet which was attached to here too. And I'm going to listen first. I'm going to play this first, then respond this later. Is Mnangagwa working with Chamisa? We really need to take a look onto this and respond accordingly. Let us have a moment.
Then you have your time. So whole drama that is happening is meant to make sure that Mnangagwa gets a second term. Because there was an arrangement that was done which involved Charumbira, one Utaunashe, and who is this one? This other, and Mtendi. They went to convince the leadership of the main opposition to say, we have been under the Zezuru dominance for 37 years. Why would you want to get one of your own out of the office after they've just been there for 5 years? Why can't you allow him 10 years? Then you have your time, you come in, we all support you, and you do all this thing. So at first I was doubtful about it until Charumbira came out and said, we had the Zulus for 37 years, blah, 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 you are brothers, things like that, and everything. I said, oh, okay. So those guys from this side who were saying this is what is happening were really saying the truth. So the people are really, you see, they can't wait to have change, the general people. And they are so hopeful that their leadership is also with them. They believe that the leadership is sincere. And like as I'm saying,
they're being fooled like you and I.
Yeah, like as I'm saying it now, if you check in the comment section, those from that side would be pulling me like nobody's business, saying you have been sent by ZANU-PF to divide votes to do this. How can the opposition be pushing for electoral reforms 3-4 months before an election?
So this is wrong for Godfrey Tsenengamu. Point number one, the opposition didn't push for reforms 3 or 4 months before an election. Remember that Nelson Chamisa's party was out of parliament for a very long time. They were admitted back during the primary elections, which were during the by-elections, which happened in March last year. During those by-elections, that is where we had the MPs coming in back to parliament. And immediately after they got back to parliament, they crafted electoral reforms. They were published all over. Triple C published them on their Twitter handle, on Facebook platforms, everywhere. We spoke at length about these reforms last year. Way back. We spoke about these electoral reforms last year. I made a live video and we discussed about these political reforms which were demanded by the MPs of Nelson Chamisa. Nelson Chamisa himself held a caucus and spoke about those reforms and said, I have instructed the MPs to go and demand these electoral reforms. But Godfrey Tsenengamu comes here to lie publicly. Secondly, you have to understand that Nelson Chamisa is not doing this for himself. He's doing this for the people. He's sacrificing things for the people. He can't go in bed with Emmerson Mnangagwa. That is the reason why Nelson Chamisa, after the 2018 elections, said, do your things. You have stolen the election, do your things. Fix your mess. If Nelson Chamisa was working with Mnangagwa, the best thing he could do was to join Emmerson Mnangagwa, form a GNU with Emmerson Mnangagwa. Why? Nelson Chamisa does have ideas, does have the knowledge on how to deal with the economic mess we are in. Which means if he gets into government right now, at any level, he's going to fix a lot of things. At any level right now, even as a minister, he'll fix a lot of things. But he said, I can't join a dirty train. I can't be corrupted. I can't be part of this failure. So you see kuti all these blame games on Nelson Chamisa, they are just hogwash. They are not backed by anything. Godfrey Senengam is just speaking from his own mind. This is just a man who is seeking popularity through Nelson Chamisa. So you will see that, honestly speaking, we are heading towards an election. There are people who want the opposition to fail. They throw around all sorts of hogwash, all sorts of nonsense for the people to say these people are not serious. So this is the reason why I say to Zimbabweans, let's wake up. Let us distance ourselves from people like Godfrey Senengamo and the likes, because one has no direction. They've never worked anywhere, and the question is, how are they surviving? How are they living? So, Anzipanapa, as a Zulu, I'm offended by these fabrications. Has Senengam joined the ranks of charlatans who make unfounded claims? Nelson Chamisa is never tribal. Nelson Chamisa loves Ndeveles. He loves Venda. He loves Karankas. He loves Tonga people, the Zulus, the Manyikas, every person, the Shanganis. Nelson Chamisa is talking about unity. He's talking about going beyond tribal lines. That is not Nelson Chamisa. He's talking about a one Zimbabwe, a uniformed Zimbabwe. Pausinga wane munachinzi, you are one basa because urim Ndebele, you are one basa because urim Shona, you are one basa because urim Tonga. No. It's beyond Nelson Chamisa's imaginations. He can't think of dividing Zimbabwe along tribal lines. Kuna Nelson Chamisa, kuna Mzezuru, kuna Mkaranga, kuna Chi, kune mwana we Zimbabwe. He emphasizes this each and every time to say, guys, don't support somebody because of tribal lines. Support somebody because of ideas, because of their capacity to do things. If a Ndebele person does have capacity, fakayena. If a Tonga person does have capacity, fakayena. If a Venda person does have capacity, fakayena. Let everyone serve according to competency. And let us build Zimbabwe together. Let us make sure that Zimbabwe benefits everyone. That is the reason why Nelson Chamisa is saying the new government is going to make sure that we decentralize services. Ma services angachimbowanikwa kuHarare chete, akuwanikwa kuBelt Bridge, kuBulawayo, kuPlumtree, everywhere. Hapasina munhu achaita haso yekuti unomhanya kuHarare for everything. Company registration done in Harare, vehicle licenses Harare, zvese Harare, everything important Harare. Harare. Why? Why should people travel all the way to Harare? That is the reason why Nelson Chamisa is talking about decentralizing things to provinces. That is where the issue of what do you call it for those provincial devolution. That is where devolution comes in, making sure that a province is dealing with its matters, and the central government does its role as the central government. But kuma province kwedu zvinhu zvichitofamba, development ichitofamba. That is giving power to the people. Let us ignore this hogwash, this nonsense, and vote for Nelson Chamisa.